Hello, everybody. Decided that I want to pray while talking. It's not uncommon in various different circles. Actually, we're funny humans. We like to typically talk in circles, like both as individuals talking in circular fashion. It's called circumlocution, actually. And we also like to talk in circles, as in everybody standing around in a circle. In any case, I was thinking today about my DM's daughter, and she was the only one who was brave enough to actually just talk to me. Unfortunately, she's got only the voices of her mom and everybody else in her head, so that if anybody ever speaks out towards something that's not going appropriately or that people should be accountable for, it gets turned into, well, we helped you or you weren't perfect, and a lot of a lot of harsher stuff than that I'm not going to share, because I actually love his daughter, and I feel awful because I did not speak up for her. I put the relationship first. I put myself first. And one of the things that she definitely, I had a hard time because she had said, "Well, you're not doing this to help anybody. You're just being selfish." And I'd already openly told everybody I was being selfish. So part of that was kind of cute. It's like, at least she's smarter than everybody else. Like, even if she didn't see that stuff, at least she sees, yes, this is entirely selfish. And it's still selfish when pirates and other people do it, even if they pretend they don't know better, even if they pretend it's an accident, even if they pretend that somebody else did something so awful, it's still selfish. And then, and then I was thinking about talks with my son and talks with a lot of people. And I think the greatest irony is, like, a lot of the pirates and potatoes don't realize that part of me being selfish is standing up for kids. It is being kind to my DM. It is, while standing up for myself too. Like it, you can be selfish and still be doing something for someone else. That's part of the point. Like, a lot of abusive people get you that way. Oh, I helped you that one time, and it may have been genuine help in that moment, but then they drop and they go toxic, and then they use that to keep you involved so they don't have to be accountable, so they don't have to do it. I remember there was a time I was standing up for a former friend's kid to him because he was constantly calling him fat and saying, "Could you get a smaller shirt? Could you get any fatter? Well, you want to have another donut?" And this kid at the time was 12. And I said, "Why do you do that to him?" And his wife immediately goes, "Well, why do you tell your son that not to be a baby?" Which, if you've ever heard me, I haven't said that since then, actually, because I appreciated the feedback. I wasn't aware that that came across in any similar way to, "Could you eat another donut?" But I still took it to heart. You know what? Maybe there is a better way to say that, because what I was saying before was not, "Don't be a baby." I would always say to my youngest, "I know that you'd like to be seen as a big boy, wouldn't you, rather than a baby?" And he'd say, "Yeah." I'd say, "Okay, well, do you know what behavior would help us see you as a big boy?" And he'd say, "Yeah." And then he'd behave well. Because, the energy you do something in is just as important as what you say. Just like how you say something is important. And when they asked me that, I said, "Well, my son is a Leo Scorpio, and I'm aware that emotional maturity is extremely important for his life. And so I'm trying to use language that would make sense at his age to be able to help him come up to that place on his own." And there was no response to that other than, "Okay, well, husband, answer her question." And his only answer was, "Well, I don't want him to be weak or soft." And I feel bad because my response should have been, "You're the one making him weak and soft, just like your dad did to you. Just the same fucking way. Didn't make you strong because now you're a weak ass fucking man doing that to a kid. That's not strength. That's weakness." And I see the same fucking shit. I saw, Rudy's first wife do that shit all the time to their daughter. And I feel like there's no amount of selfish that I could be at this moment that could ever overcome that kind of shit, especially because I got thrown under the bus anyways, as the person everybody thought told on them, because they could see in me too. I should have done it. It should have been me, because I am that kind of a good person. And then even the fact that nobody expected me to be the one to show a little immaturity, to make sure that everybody knows about what's going on so that kids are protected, and because I'm being selfish. Both. Both are true. Both can be true. It's a very important spiritual lesson. That's also a very important relationship lesson. You can love somebody and still know that being in a relationship with them is not healthy for either of you. You can still know that somebody can be like 90% of the time very toxic and have 10% of the time that they are genuine. And maybe they did help you, maybe even in some big ways. But only unhealthy, unstable, toxic people will say, you got to shut up because I helped you. Or you got to stay because I helped you. Or you can't ever disappoint me because I helped you. Or I might have helped you. I might have gotten you information. I might have given you money. These are the things that unwell people say, not healthy people. And I'm praying right now for the protection of kids that are with unhealthy people like that, my youngest son included. Because I know right now, going on a week, that he's not talked to me, that the only reason for it is because they're telling him that I'm unstable. And I feel more bad at the fact that when he finds out that is not and has never been true, that's going to hurt their relationship with him. Because he and I have been through a lot. A lot, you know? Especially because of these pirates, because of these people. And if they're even not bluffing and actually go through with it, where we can all get appropriate mental health services, again, they're going to hurt their relationship with him, and that's going to hurt his heart. Because he loves his dad. And I never shit-talked him. So there's no reason for him not to. I did tell him the truth about the situation he was going into, but at 10, he is at an age where he wanted to see it for himself and learn it for himself. And he's already confirmed it is everything that we feared that it would be, including going through this stuff. So I pray for him and the other kids, too, to know that they are safe and loved no matter where they are. To maintain trust in themselves, because when adults lie to kids, especially about the other parent, they start to erode that trust that a kid has in themselves. That's how they did it to us. That's how past generations did it to those before us, our parents and their parents. And you know what? I definitely request benevolent healing from the universe for all former generations, the inner children of our parents and their parents and their parents and our ancestors. Because that's how it happened. Start eroding people's ability to trust themselves. Start putting not even people, kids, start eroding kids' abilities to trust themselves. Start telling them that they're weak if they like to use coloring books or they have a soft voice. Start telling them they're dilly-dallying if they take their time. Children are sacred. Like, you don't need to be creepy with them in order to have their appreciation and their attention. All you need to do is be good to them. You don't need to love bomb them. You don't need to make them strong. You don't need to comment on their body type or weight. You don't need to try to steal them away from other people who give them positive attention. Same thing with other adults. You don't need to steal their attention. You don't need to demand it or force it. I pray for everybody's inner child and the actual children now. All of them. Those that I can speak for, those that I can't speak for, all of them. They're all in my heart all the time. even when I'm being selfish, because you know the biggest selfish thing that I think about is how big of a deal can I make out of this for the kids? You know, because there's not a thing in this world that is worth holding on to for me that could ever make up for that stuff, for not being the one to speak up. Like, yeah, I've done a few wrongs, but my biggest wrong was not being the one to speak up. And that allowed people to get hurt on the basis that everybody said, but if you speak up, people will get more hurt. The kids will get hurt more, which I should have taken for a long time to be that's like what unstable, unhealthy people say. That's how they keep you in it. The threat of more pain. Not that they'll stop hurting you or the kids or anything if you stay quiet, simply that they will find a way to hurt people more if you say something. And many people don't even say those words. They just make it clear. They might threaten you. They might be mean to your kids. They might be mean to your person. They'll find a way to make sure that you know without actually having to say so. At least up until you get brave enough to say something, and then usually they'll give you more than enough evidence to keep going. But first you have to trust yourself, and that's where generations have been lost to time for a long time. That's why with my son, like, I'm not rushing things. I'm not happy that he's being lied to. I'm not happy that he's being gaslit. But I also know that that's why his dad is stuck where he is. That's exactly the reason that my youngest and I talked, and that part of the reason he wanted to go over there, because we saw that we were going to lose his dad. My 10-year-old is brave as fuck. I love that kid, and I trust him so much. And I'm not worried actually one iota about him losing his heart or his mind in that, because I did good with him, and his dad, despite his own proclivities, has done good with him. Just like our other son, our oldest son. And I pray for them. I'm praying for their protection all the time, because I'm a motherfucking good mama like that. So I'm sending even bigger prayers up to all the kids who don't have a me. Don't have a me as a mom, or to stand in the role of dad when dad floats off down the circus river. Who don't have a mom to tell the other adults, no, your rules are clearly about you being triggered, not about something that the kid is actually doing wrong. And no, you don't get to blame the children just because they have weird moods and big attitudes. If you don't like it, you should not have had children. If you didn't have the patience, you should take a parenting class. If you're not willing to be accountable for bringing a life into this world that you were going to love in every beautiful way, that's on you, not on the children. I don't know, I think I might turn this into a different video and just go on and talk about parenting and stuff. But for right now, I'm praying for all the kids. The kids that I saw being drug out of the dollar store yesterday because their mom had kept them out super late in the evening. And then, gee, oh, but my child's just the naughty one because she's throwing fits. No, you're the fucking naughty one. Because you're not thinking about the physical and emotional health of your child before you drag them out there and put them in that situation. Before you embarrass them in a public setting, and then further embarrass them more by blaming them for your lack of accountability for time. You know what, I think I am going to do a different video, but for right now, if you're hearing this, if you watch this, please send prayers to the children. Please send chairs. Please send prayers to their parents to see this stuff, to hear this stuff, not necessarily from me, but from somebody. Please pray that there are more people out there like me who went to the dollar store yesterday and spoke to the people who were talking shit about kids when the kids left the room and tried to tell me it shouldn't matter because they didn't say it to the children. It does fucking matter because it's about your integrity. Because guess what? If you're willing to talk shit about a little fucking kid when they're not in the room, I know you're willing to talk shit about just about anything. That's about your character. And you would be the type of person to do that to a child if nobody was looking. Because people who don't have integrity don't do the right thing when people aren't looking. Because integrity is doing the right thing even when nobody's looking. Even when nobody's rewarding you. That's what it fucking is. That's integrity. Alright, y'all. I pray for y'all too. I'll see you in the next video.